Okay, peeps, here we are with Richard Ralford, all rolling good on the Crawford Podcasting. Now, we're going to do a different twist this post game, this debacle up at United Center here in Chicago. Speaking of which, I'm in Chicago still. I have to chill just before I even get in the car to drive back to East Lansing after that rough situation. What happened yesterday here in Chicago in the Big Ten tournament, Michigan's second half performance. 59 years, guys, of watching Michigan basketball in person. Worst half I've ever seen. Richard Ralford, the co-host. Hey, look what we have in the bottom screen. We have the other Crawford podcast covering Michigan basketball. See why, Chris Young? I thought we combined it. And, I'm going to be honest with you up front. This is just going to be – I'm just going to be playing ping pong with these guys back and forth. I want their expert opinion on what happened with Michigan basketball yesterday because I know they're going to be completely transparent. And so, Rich, welcome to your show, and welcome to you, Chris Young, as you're merging over here to get a complete, reaction to both of you. I thought we'd combine it today. So, anyway, Rich, what'd you think, buddy? I know you're a glass half full guy, but boy, you were tested. You were tested yesterday.
Our pre-show with me and Chris is exactly how I feel because I felt like we had no effort in the second half. First half, we looked like world beaters. In the second half, it's like it was a different team that showed up. And what we have to do, man, we have to play hard. And I told you this earlier, Tom. I think that some of the guys was not ready for that light. Anybody can play regular season. But when you go into an NBA arena, and you have never played in there before in your life, you had a different feel that I saw last night. The only one I was happy with was Hunter. That's because Hunter's already going to be an amazing player at the next level.
Yeah. Chris. Well, Chris. You have no filter when it comes.
No, no, I don't.
I want to be totally honest with you, with all our listeners. What's your thoughts?
It was a shock to me the way the guys came out in the second half. I mean, with his, they didn't play a great first half, but they played with energy. They made shots. They were attacking the basket. They were playing good defense. They were doing everything you're supposed to do to win a tournament game. And then you go in the halftime, you got a little juice going, and you come back out and just absolutely lay an egg. Just like, oh yeah, we're beating this Rutgers team by a little bit. We did this to them at the rack a couple weeks ago. They're just going to roll over for us, and we're just gonna go. And man, Rutgers came out, and you saw them on defense. They're bouncing, their hands are up, they're talking shit, like they're getting after it. And we were just like, oh well, I don't know what to do. I think and you could. They all, even Hunter at some points looked like a deer in headlights. I mean, he got the ball on the baseline, and this was after they had gone 1 for 17 or whatever, and he tried to shoot that little floater over Cliff Amore, and he was just like, no, man, you're not getting that, and beat it, partially into the crowd, then dove into the crowd, saved it, and they got a fast break on the other end. And that just shows the focus and the intentionality that Michigan was playing with in the second half, and also what Rutgers was all about. Because once Rutgers tasted blood, man, they stepped right on Michigan's throat. They did not let them back in it at all. They didn't let up at all. But even saying all that, and even going 1 for 17 and being down 8 or 10 points, we were still in the game because we were still being aggressive. We were still getting to the free throw line and making our free throws where it's like, man, we make a couple shots and we are right back in this thing as bad as this half is. And because it never, even when there was, 90 seconds left, it never felt out of reach. It always felt like, man, we make like 2 shots and we are right back in this thing.
Right.
So, and even Robbie Hummel was doing the game on TV, and he said, he's like, man, don't go anywhere, fans, because you never know what's going to happen. And I was one of those fans. I was like, man, they could realistically come back and at least make this game competitive. And no, they just decided to,
no, they didn't.
Just so
post game, Rich, Juwan said, and a couple, there was, it wasn't a lot of energy and ability at the start. And I knew that we talked about this. It's 12 o'clock game on Thursday. Michigan fans, let's be real. I mean, you guys both saw it, even with you, with your big championships, Rich. I mean, they're a show me crowd. You show me a good product and I'll show up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right.
It's not fundamentally a basketball school. Let's be real.
Yep.
Let's just be real. You had to kind of bow down to football, but in the second half, Illinois fans started showing up, okay? And everybody hates Michigan. And Illinois fans were the ones that started the NIT chant. I was so glad that Penn State beat them last night.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But Rich, I mean, that's not an excuse, the fact you didn't have energy in the building. I mean, you got to create your own energy, right? I mean, and one basket for nearly 19 minutes. You ever experienced that, Rich, Ralford?
I have never in my career that I've even got close to being 1 for 19.
Yeah.
Because you know what? When you have shooters, somebody has to take some pride and say, listen, I'm going to either drive to the hole for a dunk or I'm gonna get a short-range jump shot. We don't do that, though. When we struggle, we shoot threes, and we ain't making them.
No shooters.
Right, and we got a 7-1 kid in there who moves around, and I noticed yesterday that when Hunter got the ball, nobody moves now.
No.
I don't
Everyone sits there. They just find a spot and they just sit there.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they got their hands up and they're ready.
Chris.
Like, maybe he's going to pass me the ball.
Yep, that's exactly right, Chris. And so I feel, at halftime, I don't know what Juwan said to those guys, but my thing would have been, this is do or die, fellas. Either you win or you go home. That's what they have to realize. And I don't think, I think these guys, because they're young, freshmen and sophomores, they don't have no sense of urgency.
Right.
Because they know they're going to be there next year.
Yeah. Okay. See why? Dovetail off what Rich said about Juwan. I mean, he didn't have his team prepared second hand. Whose fault is that in motivation? Because I'm telling you what, a couple other things I want to throw at you. See why? Fundamentally, is that they never lead the pass to the play. It's always right at the belly. It's got picked off. I mean, 14 turnovers. And that's how Rutgers ignited their sour offense in the first half. It was off Michigan's turnovers. Stirred the pot. They saw the ball go in, and then they were off to the races in the second half.
That's absolutely right. And a little bit of it is on Juwan, obviously. Like not getting his troops up enough and not getting enough, energy and calling a timeout. And I mean, even if you got to cuss your son out and like, man, let's go. But that's been the issue I've had with this Michigan team all year is they don't have any dogs. They don't have a guy that's just like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to put my head down and I'm going to go get a bucket. I'm just going to take over. Kobe Buffkin's kind of on the verge, but he's such a soft-spoken guy where he's not going to do it and then talk a little shit as he's doing it and then go and do it again. Like we don't have a guy like that where Rutgers has got it, Illinois has got it, Indiana's got it, State's got it. Like all these other Big Ten schools have got 1, 2, even 3 of those guys where they get a bucket and they're letting everybody in the building know about it. And I'm not a big fan of that, but we needed that in that 1 for 17 stretch. We needed somebody to just, man, even if it's Hunter, talking shit to the crowd or whatever, we need someone to step up and do it. And everyone just, okay, well, maybe we'll make the next one. Oh, shoot, we missed it. And it was such a soft-spoken second half by the Michigan guys. I was very disappointed.
Hey, Rich, who was your dog on those 85-86 team? Was it you? Was it Butch? Who is it? Tarpley?
Well, see, I'm glad that Chris brought that up because he's exactly right, but there's no dogs. You know how many dogs we had on our team? Our whole first 5. We all were because the one thing that we did, Tom, I remember playing Indiana for the second Big Ten title in Ann Arbor. And the first thing we said when we walked on the floor is, kick y'all ass. That's the first thing we said.
Yep.
And I looked at their faces, and they looked like, these guys crazy. You need dogs, man. You need dogs because you don't really care about nobody else. I care about the other guys, the 15 guys on my team. And Butch, Roy, Antoine, Gary was kind of soft-spoken. But me, Antoine, Roy, and Butch, we talk plenty smack.
Yeah.
Butch was quiet assassin. That's what Butch would do. Butch would hit you with an elbow, and next thing you know, you'd be looking around saying, yo, why you hit me? That's what they saying. I remember Butch laying out Winston Morgan for Indiana. And he said to Butch, yo, you ain't have to hit me that hard. And Butch said, you ain't have to run this way. Yeah. And that's how it has to be. It has to be that way. You have to have some dogs. You know what? When I look at teams like Purdue and Michigan State, because I love Tom Izzo, Tom got some dogs. And as much as we say about Purdue, Edie's a dog.
He's a dog.
He's a 7'3" dog. I hear him. I see him talking smack. My thing is not only do you have to be a dog, listen, man, put it together. Y'all get it together. We always say, I'm my brother's keeper. And that's what it has to be. And we didn't have that yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't had it all season.
So, Chris, how's this going to change? I mean, here we've all been excited about, Kobe's an all-around player and all this stuff. And Kobe said post-game, I'm talking about Kobe Buffkin. Yeah, I mean, we gave it all we could. I mean, I'm looking at the other. I'm like, what? Did you just say that?
Yeah.
We gave great effort. No, you didn't give great effort. You did not. So how discouraged are you on that 23-24 season? But we don't know what we have because of uncertainty. Well, how do you feel about this program? Because I know Michigan fans are livid.
Right? Oh yeah. They're the message boards are bananas. All the social media and all that crap is just going nuts, calling for Beeline to come back, and all this. I mean, all kinds of craziness. And I've got a lot of confidence in this program going forward, and I still have confidence in this team. Hate to be the guy, but we're going to the NIT, and we can get in the NIT, and we can realistically have a chip on our shoulder and go through and win the NIT.
But what?
Because
okay,
we're that kind of team.
But
or we can get blown out in the first round.
Let me ask you this question though, because I think this is a really good. If they're not motivated to try to get into the NCAA tournament when you're up against the wall after 2 OT losses, how motivated are you going to be playing an NIT game? Probably 900 fans at Chrysler Arena. I mean, how can you see them being motivated?
And that's the thing. They have to have somebody, whether it's a player or one of the coaches or one of the damn managers, getting in everybody's faces and be like, and be like, get in that locker room and be like, look, man, Joey Baker, you've been playing this game since you were 5 years old. You realistically could have one game left and you're never going to play basketball again.
Yeah.
How do you not have motivation in that situation? All of these guys potentially have one game left in their respective, freshman season or junior season or grad transfer season or whatever. There's one. This is one and done at this point, and it doesn't matter if it's NCAA or NIT or whatever. Like, how is that not just an incredible sense of urgency? And we've seen with this team, they are able to bounce back. I hate to keep bringing up the damn Central game, but they bounced back and waxed Maryland. They absolutely came out and kicked their damn teeth in after that. And it's like, they're capable. They're capable of coming out and laying an absolute egg and then turning it around and beating a goddamn good team.
Yeah.
So are they going to do it, or are they just going to be like, oh, well, shit, we didn't make the tournament, so, whatever. We'll play our one little game in the NIT, and if we lose, then some guys will go to the league, some guys will hit the portal, and, a couple guys will come back, and whatever. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
And so, Rich, I got to ask you, so Michigan has current team. I think there's 6 that are top 100, including, Kobe Buffkin was a McDonald's All-American like you were, okay? So do you think is there enough talent there? So what is the missing ingredient? Is it, all the above that we've talked about, coaching and motivating? What would you do? If you were, Juwan said, Rich, why don't you take over this team next year, buddy? Come on. You won back-to-back Big Ten titles. What would you do with this team if you were the head coach?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is go out and get me some bigger guards. I like Buffkin, but Tom, I have a problem with these little guards because all the other Big Ten schools, guards are bigger than ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And my thing is, I understand you're getting, McDonald's All-American here. A couple of years ago, your recruiting class was much better than what you had now. Yeah. And your son was in this class. To kind of piggyback a little bit on what Chris said, with the NIT, what happened with us when we didn't make the tournament and St. John's got in before us? They were 17 and 15. What we did is we said this: all right, fellas, they want to disrespect us like that. Let's run through this NIT. And that's exactly what we did. We ran through the NIT and we won the NIT in the Garden. These guys, I think that the guys today in basketball, they're getting too much. They got NIL deals. They got all these packages and all this stuff. So tell me, where's the drive?
Yeah.
Who wants to win a Big Ten title and go to the next level?
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing with these kids. These kids don't understand. Like Chris said earlier, some of these kids after this week may not play basketball ever again when they graduate.
Ever again. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some may not go to Europe. We know some ain't gonna get drafted. But I feel that these kids can win an NIT and then they can all have something to go look back for. You know how we have these reunions with these championship teams?
Yep.
Well, be one of those guys to come back. And I just think that, and I have no problem with Juwan. I know Juwan. See, Juwan got 19 years of NBA experience and 9 years of coaching. I feel that with Juwan, get on these guys some more. Sit their behind down when they ain't doing what they're supposed to do. Because Frieda, you do something wrong, Frieda gonna sit your behind down and let you look at it for a couple minutes, and then he's gonna put you back in, and he's gonna be like, "Sit down here." You know. So I'm hoping that if I'm coaching this team, besides getting bigger guards, I'm gonna play through my big guy, because my big guys, when we had Tarpley and they had Chris, we go through them. My job was easy. I averaged 11 points and I didn't have to take about 7-8 shots. Because we had big guys and we scored easy points, man. And so these kids, what they have to do, I feel they have to stay the summer, stay together this summer. Because we did it. Me, Gary Grant, Antoine, Roy, we stayed out all summer. And when you stay in the summer, you guys can get a better camaraderie with each other. And then you know what everybody's like. Because I'm with you, Tom. I don't believe in this, we freshmen. You know, we got young team. No, man. We got a center who's going to be an NBA player. And I've been playing basketball since I was in the 7th grade. I got enough experience.
You know, Chris, you know, I sat in the second half, or latter part of the second half, the Ohio State-Iowa game. You know, Ohio State beat, and they have 3 freshmen were literally on the court the whole second half. This dude, man, that guy, it's kind of like what Rich talked about. He looked like he could play a weak side linebacker. I mean, and these guys drive downhill and they make plays, you know, and they're freshmen, Chris. So these freshman excuse for a young bit. Michigan is of the 363 teams, they're the 347, you know, most youngest veteran and all this stuff. Okay. But Ohio State is defined it. And by the way, Ohio State has a 6th best recruiting class in the nation coming in next year. That's another team you're going to have to worry about. So where's this youth card? You can't play that anymore, right?
Well, you can't really play it. I mean, you can play it a little bit just because of inexperience, but there has to be, and to piggyback on what Rich was saying, you know, what I would do as a coach, challenge these guys. Get right in their face. Be like, Doug, everyone in the Big Ten thinks you're too small. Yeah, you're fast and you can shoot a little bit, but you're too small. What are you going to do?
There you go.
And not like, oh, this is what you do, and kind of pat them on the bottom and tell them everything's going to be okay and just go out there and play hard. Like, no, challenge these guys. Get in Jet's face and be like, dude, you're supposed to be Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Get out there and do it. You came in with all these accolades, you know? Kobe Buffkin, be a first-team All-Big Ten guy. Why can't you be a first-team All-Big Ten guy? What is this guy doing that you're not? And challenge them, you know? I know that's not the culture now, but that's how it was when Rich came up. That's how it was when I came up. Coaches got right in your face and challenged your manhood to, man, step up and do this. It's gotten a little too nice and a little too soft where it's man, just get out there and get it done. And if you, and to be honest, if you don't have the talent, okay, fine. You know, if you're just not talented enough yet, you know, God bless Cheddar. He's out there busting his hump, trying to do everything he can do. He's just not there yet, talent-wise. But he's got the effort and everything else down. You put Cheddar's effort into Jet Howard. You put his effort into Kobe Buffkin every possession. I mean, these guys are first team All Big Ten guys, but they're missing that extra little, you know, hey, let's go do this.
Well, no, I just want you to know I'm a Cheddar fan.
Oh, I love
the reason
Cheddar.
I'm a Cheddar fan
love Cheddar.
is because I'll take hard work over talent any day. And that's what Cheddar does.
That's
Cheddar
all he does.
Hard when he's on the floor.
Just works hard. And you know what? If he makes a mistake, like Hunter caught the ball on the block and kind of took that little move to the middle. Cheddar cut baseline, and Hunter threw him a 100-mile-an-hour fastball from 3 feet away, and it went right through his hands. And Hunter's like shaking his head. Did you see what Cheddar did?
Yes.
My fault, Hunter. My fault.
Yep, that's exactly what he did.
I'll catch the next one.
Chris.
Throw it again. I'll catch the next one.
No, I remember that play.
You know, where it's the other guys, you throw a pass to Terrence Williams and he misses it, and he just goes, and just kind of hangs his head and kind of trots back.
Hey, Rich,
I'll take Cheddar for stuff like that all day. And I love that he's in the starting lineup because he's the type of dude, you never know what you're going to get from him on the offensive side and defensive side, but you know he's going to be in the middle of every damn thing.
And he's going to work hard.
Yes.
So Rich, now I'm not turning this into a Jet bash, but I'm telling you what, he had a left early second half. Rich, Jet had a open jumper, fell up short, but instead of following the shot, he kind of just headed back, and the ball came right trajectory right there. The
right
ball
where it was standing. Yes.
The ball hit the floor. If he had fouled his shot, Rich, he could have had a spear jam off that thing. Instead,
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw the play.
Well, not even follow a shot. Just stand there. Don't fade away. Don't start leaking back. I mean,
But he had a chance.
All these guys are focused on is getting back on defense.
Yeah. And Rutgers doesn't. And Rutgers is not a fast breaking team. It's not like they're flying up the court. Like, what are you doing?
This is not Michigan State.
Yeah.
I mean, Rich. I mean, doesn't that bother the hell out of you? I mean, come on.
You know, it bothers me because I never understand lack of effort, Tom. I don't get that part.
Yeah.
Because you know what? We've been playing ball our whole lives.
Yeah.
And our job was, I want to be better than the guy across from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we thought.
Yep.
I feel like, I truly believe that the guys that we have now on our team, they need some extra motivation. We need to bring in some kids who's going to come in and play against them hard.
Yeah.
Remember, Chris, in the summertime, we would play against Eastern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
We would play against U of D. Guys would come up to Ann Arbor and play at Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're doing that anymore, but you should never let Eastern or any of those guys be even in the game with you.
Yeah.
We played those guys. We blew them teams out. Only team that we had a hard time with was U of D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, guys. I tell you what, this has been therapeutic for me. Just hearing you guys. I know Michigan fans, speaking to both what you're talking about, lack of effort, from what I saw on Wolverine.com board, they were felt embarrassed about their team because lack of effort. And that, people don't have the technical expertise that you guys do, but they just saw optically no effort. And that's what's going to piss off a fan base.
Yes.
Yep.
When the fans look like they care more than the players do.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right.
That's the hard part. Hey, Rich Ralford, Chris Young, I knew you'd bring it. You did. We're going to do this again. You guys on a tandem from your respective podcasts.
I enjoy this with Chris.
Yeah, this is great, Rich. This is awesome.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for being on, man. I appreciate it.
We'll both of you guys we got further podcasts with both Down the Blocks with Chris Young down the bottom screen. All Rell Good, Richard Ralford. Until next time, guys, be safe. Hey, just endure it. Things will be better for Michigan basketball. Feel in the faith there, guys.
Yes,
all right. Peace, guys, and go
right.
blue, baby.
Thanks, guys.
Go blue.